As we edge close to the summer 2025, focus switches to the international scene, that's right. And of course, over in the States, it'll be a Cold Cup, that's right, with 16 nations competing for glory. Today, we're going to preview a nation, and we're coming at you next. That's right, folks, but once again, with another video today. We're previewing the Gold Cup. We're going to take a look at one of the nations taking part in this summer spectacular. We'll get to that in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button. You want subscribe for Gold Cup, World Football, Blackburn Rovers. We've got it all here under one rooski. That's right, 16 nations from around the globe. That's right. We do have a guest nation taking part in this summer spectacular. We'll get to all of that in a second. Of course, big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are. So what we'll do today is, of course, look at one of the nations, see their hopes and dreams heading into this summer tournament. Are they contenders? Will they get eliminated in the group stages? We'll take a look at all that. We're going to start right here, right now. Next up the block, man, is Jamaica. Jamaica me crazy and get your beer can on like. Of course, coming into this as preliminary round winners. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll tell you in a little bit. It qualified not too long ago, back on the 25th of March. 2025. They've been here 14 times with this rendition of the Gold Cup, 16 times including the old school versions way back in the 70s, 80s and things like that. Of course, coming at you last time around back in 2023, they did finish runners-up twice back in 2015 and 2017, and maybe, just maybe, there is optimism that they could feature at that sort of stage this time around. They're currently ranked 63rd in the world. We'll see my hopes and dreams for Jamaica in a little bit then, shall we? Let's take a look at the key player, Leon Bailey, 32 million euros on the books of Aston Villa's had an okay season for Villa. They're still competing for that Champions League spot, and by the time this video goes out, they may have already qualified, or their season might be over. Meanwhile, the governor, Steve McLaren, that's right, is in there with a 1.57 points per match ratio. 64 years of age, formerly England international coach, but now managing the Jamaican team. Of course, hard job, isn't it, going out to the Caribbean to steer it up, but there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. They've got a lot of talent, and they're going to be, this is it, this is the time to shine. Of course, focus will switch to the World Cup, and of course, hopefully they'll be there or thereabouts to qualify, but they can actually do some damage here in this Gold Cup, and they've got a good set of goalkeepers. Andre Blake for Philadelphia Union in there, Shaquan Davis, of course, old school there, Ethan Pinnock from Brentford, they ain't no slouches, Deschamps Bernard, Mason Holgate, Joe Lepertard from Coventry, Amari Bell, ex-Rover in there. Goodness gracious me, if they all show up, they have a decent looking team here. Meanwhile, into midfield, the likes of Leon Bailey, Bobby Dakota Reed, KC Palmer, Ravel Morrison, the likes of Tyreek McGee as well, Demario Phillips, and up top, Michael Antonio, Damari Gray, playing his football. Is he playing his football in Saudi Arabia? I don't know. Shamal Nicholson as well. They've got some talent, and they should be there or thereabouts. Of course, this is their star men, though, this season. Not many goals scored from Jamaica coming into this. Michail Antonio and Romaro Williams with a goal apiece. Bobby Dakota Reed, Craig Lee, Norman Campbell with the assists. So now a lineup here, a generic lineup here, not necessarily the one that will feature, but some key individuals are in this team, like Andre Blake between the sticks, Richard King, Joe Letabodou at the back there, the two centre-backs with Ethan Pinnock and Dexter Lambisca making up the back four of Barnsley there. Isaac Hayden in midfield of Portsmouth, Bobby Dakota Reed in there alongside Leon Bailey, Damari Gray, and Ronaldo Cephas, and Warner Brown up top. So those are the in a lineup that we could see feature. But what about, of course, how they got there? Well, we'll show you that in a minute. The stats man is out, and that is the SOFA score average reader. Ethan Pinnock has been the best player on the pitch for Jamaica, the Reggae Boyz, heading into this with a 7.45. Bobby Dakota Reed is in second with 7.3, and Andre Blake, the goalkeeper, in the bronze medal spot there. But this is how they qualified. They qualified by beating St. Vincent and Grenadines 4-1 on aggregate. They did draw the first leg. They won the second leg, and that was enough to get them through as one of the qualifiers for this year's tournament. Well, they're in Group C, which is very, very difficult. When I say that, because Panama are in there, and they've got Guatemala and Guadalupe in there. This is, of course, a difficult one to get out of it, but focus will be on this one. And look at this. Look at their run in here. They'll be focusing on the World Cup qualifiers as well. They'll take on, excuse me, I'm just getting a little bit excited. They'll take on Guatemala in the second round of the World Cup qualifiers. That is a precursor to taking on them again in the Gold Cup qualifiers. What's the difference between those two performances? Who will know? We'll get a clear indication as to if Jamaica should be beating Guatemala in this Gold Cup Group C encounter. Then take on Guadalupe, probably the lowest expectation on those shoulders, but Jamaica come into this with the opportunity high here, and not only high, but they can actually win this group, and they put themselves in a good position in the quarterfinals. They'll take on Panama to wrap it all up. And of course, they could also both be qualified at this point, but it could also go down to the line this match. So this is what they're wearing, yellow and green and black, traditional Jamaica colours. And their away kit is probably one of the best of the bunch in this Gold Cup. They're stationed right here in the Caribbean islands, of course, alongside Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and of course, others. What about my expectations for the Reggae Boyz then? Well, here we go. Here we go. I do think there's a lot of hope and expectation for Jamaica heading into this, and this is their time to shine. They do need to, though, focus primarily on the World Cup. Get in a good position there, because they need to be at the World Cup in 2026. They want to see the Reggae Boyz there. So focus should be on that. Hopefully they'll come into this with the tails up, because if they do, they could go to the quarterfinals. They could even go to the semi-finals and maybe even challenge for the final. But I've gone quarterfinals, going with my head on this one. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Well, there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. That's right. Does this nation stand a chance to get through to the knockout stages? Do they even have a shot at glory? Let me know down below. Of course, over the course of the next few days, we'll preview the remaining nations in this summer's tournament. If you already missed one, make sure you check it out as well. And do me an honour and smash that thumbs up and smash your subscribe. We're going to have non-stop coverage of the Gold Cup right here, of course, so make sure you hit the order of subscribing to the channel. But until then, I'll see you soon when we return. But until then, we're done.